Hi there, this is Todd Taylor, the Online Learning Manager here at FIT. Today, we're looking at the Gradebook. To access the Gradebook, we use the Grades tool in the nav bar. So I'm going to click on that. Now, this page may look different depending on whether you have a blank course that you're creating afresh, or whether you've imported a course over from Blackboard. Or if you have already started creating assignments, discussions, and quizzes and started adding them to your gradebook as well. So the way that I'm going to structure this video is to just assume, hey, we haven't done anything in it yet. And in that case, you'll be automatically taken to the setup wizard. And the setup wizard is a 21-step process to get our calculation of our options in our gradebook and the how it presents to students all in line so that the gradebook looks schmick to our students. It's 21 steps, but really there's only 3 things that we change. Let's go through and have a look at it. So the first step is just basically review what the current settings are. You might notice that it says points here. We'll be looking into that in a second. It might say drop ungraded items. We'll look into that in a second. And it also has various things to display to the students as well. That's something else we might update as we go through this process. Okay, the first step, hitting start. So let's just go. Let's just have a look at this. Okay, the first step, step number 1, is to really have a good look at your syllabus, because your syllabus gives you an indication on what you might set up for your grading system. If in your syllabus you have these high-level measures such as quizzes, homework, midterm, and these all add up to 100%, these high-level categories, then I would suggest you use weighted. If your syllabus just has a series of points which add up to 1023, then you might go points. Most of the time, 90% of syllabuses that I see have our items that add up to 100, so I would suggest weighted for the very first one. Then we just scroll down and hit continue. Step 2 is all about whether we want to give students their progress grade. Again, Brightspace sometimes names things a bit strangely, but what we're talking about here is students' progress grade. So the calculated final grade is just the calculated progress grade. And the automatically released final grade to students is automatically released the final, the progress grade to students, to show students if they continue on their current level of progress or the current level of performance, what their final grade might look like. So that's what you're communicating to students with this page. Sometimes people don't want to show students this. In that case, you might choose to change it to adjusted final grade, which means that the grade won't be released to students. That's as easy as what it is. And then go continue. Okay. Oftentimes by default, what is selected is treat ungraded items as 0. And as a default setting, this can be a little bit stressful for students, because what it means is that every assignment, whether students are up to it or not, is graded as 0. So the first time the students go into their gradebook, they see that they're getting an F. They're failing the course. So I would recommend changing step 3 to drop ungraded items. What this means is that assignments, discussions, and quizzes which aren't yet graded aren't taken into the student's progress grade, so they're not reflected in the student's progress score. If a student doesn't do it, you give them a 0, so therefore it still becomes a graded item. So this option means it gives students an indication of where they're currently sitting in the course, as opposed to how much work they have to do to get off their current grade. So again, I would recommend the option drop ungraded items because that'll give students a more accurate indication of where they're currently seeing the course. If you choose the other option, it'll give them an F until the very end of the course, where then they'll start seeing their grades gradually increase. Okay, and then hit continue. Here we can go through the various grading schemes. Depending on your department, it might be the FIT scheme, or your department chair might have set a different grading scheme. The FIT general scheme is set by default, so I just generally go down and hit continue. Step 5 is the number of decimal places you wish to display. 2 is fine with me. It's up to you. I'm going to go continue. Okay. Here's the third element that we may change. So we have our grade. This is what we're showing to students when they view their grade book. The points grade. That's the number of points that you're awarding on each element that you're giving students results back. So if you're marking out of 100, it'll show their grade out of 100. If you're marking out of 20, it'll show their grade out of 20. So often instructors like to leave that one turned on. The weighted grade option we recommend turning off. This one can sometimes be confusing to students because it can give a false impression that they've completed the course when they haven't quite yet completed the course yet. So kind of as soon as they complete one element in a category, it kind of gives them the weighted percentage as if everything had been completed. So that one can be a bit deceptive. So we recommend turning weighted grade off. Grade scheme symbol just means letter grade. So oftentimes instructors want to show students what letter grade they're getting. So we recommend turning that one on too if you wish to show students letter grade. If you just want to show students their letter grade and not show them the points, they can choose to turn points off. But generally, points and grade scheme symbol are the options that we recommend turning on. We scroll down and hit continue. We'll just go through what we changed. We changed the grading scheme to weighted. We ensured that it was set to drop ungraded items, and we changed the student display options so that weighted grade values are turned off. That's all we really did in that 21-step process. And now hit finish to finish off this process. Bang! Now our gradebook is set up. If we click on Enter Grades, we can preview the gradebook from the perspective of a student. So if you find one of your students' names and you click on the chevron and then go Preview, in a new window, you'll see what the student sees when they view their grades. So what they'll see is their progress grade up the top here, as well as the points and the grades for the various items. You'll notice that we've got a couple of other items here as well, which we'll tidy up. We've got some imported junk from Blackboard and a junk assignment that I created by mistake, and I'll show you how to delete those in a second, so we can get this really nice and schmick for ourselves. Okay, I'm going to close that preview. Now to kind of customize our gradebook and get it all organized, we use the Manage Grades tool. So I'm going to click on up the top here and then click on Manage Grades. So the Manage Grades tool allows us to delete items. It also allows us to create categories, which are those high-level groupings of items which are in our syllabus. They're the things that say that assignments are worth 20%, our quizzes 10%, participation 40%, and so on. So let's look at how we might delete this imported junk from Blackboard and an assignment created by mistake. Okay, first of all, how do we know it's imported junk from Blackboard? Because I've just labeled that. Oftentimes, in this type field, if it says calculated, that's saying it's come from Blackboard. So that's how we can identify stuff that's come from Blackboard, which we can simply delete. How do we know that this is a junk assignment that was created by mistake? In the association column, you'll notice there's no association for this item. Whereas my assignment, demo quiz, and week 1 quiz, they all have associations. They're all linked to assignments, quizzes, and discussions, whereas this one is not. So that is another thing that we can potentially delete because it's not linked to our gradebook. So either we want to go into the assignment and link it to our gradebook, or we want to get it out of our gradebook, one of the two. In this case, I've determined that this is a junk assignment created by mistake, so I want to just delete it out of my gradebook. So to delete items from our gradebook, we click on More Actions, then we go Delete. The good news is that items which are associated can't be deleted, but the junk items can be deleted. So we select the ones that we want to delete, and then we hit Delete. There we go. They're gone. Okay. So now if we look at our final calculated grade, we'll notice that our assignments only add up to 30% and not 100%. It actually tells us up here, hey, it adds up to 30% and not 100%. So oftentimes, one of the steps that we work through is to create categories so these are the high-level things which are in our syllabus, in our grading scheme in our syllabus, which add up to 100. So to create our categories, we go to our New button up the top here. So New Category. And in my imaginary syllabus, there's going to be 3 items. There's going to be assignments, they'll be worth 40%. There's going to be quizzes, they'll be worth 30%. And then there'll be discussions, which are worth another 30%. So first of all, I create my assignments. I'm going to say they're worth 40%. And then we have so the first thing we did, we updated the name, then we updated weight. Then the third thing, the third and final thing we update is our distribution. 90% of the time, it's going to be distribute weight evenly across all items in our category. Oftentimes when it comes to assignments, our first assignment is worth the same as our second, third, fourth, fifth. Each assignment has an equal weight, which goes towards our category. Same with quizzes. If we have a weekly quiz, oftentimes each quiz has an equal weight. The quiz we take in the first week isn't necessarily weighted more than the quiz that we take in the final week. And same with discussions, each discussion is often got an equal value. The time when that might be different is when we have a project where you have different deliverables which are worth different amounts. So with a project, you might have a project pitch, which is worth 5% of the total grade, a midterm report, which is worth 45% of the grade, and a final presentation, which is worth 50% of the grade. So it might have 3 deliverables, might have more than 3 deliverables, which all have different weights, which all bundle up to the weight of the category. In that case, what you choose is potentially the second option when you want your weights distributed by points of all items in the category. But in this case, we just want to have the maths done for us. So we'll just go distribute weight evenly across all items, and then I will save and close. Okay, what's happened? We now have a category called assignments. It's worth 40% of the grade. I'm going to add 2 more categories. I'm going to add my quizzes, and I'm going to add my discussions. So to do that, I'm going to go New button, Category, Discussions. Mention that these are going to be worth 30, and all my discussions have the same point, like same weight for each discussion. This time I use the Save and New button because I'm going to move on to creating my quizzes category next as well. So I'm going to create my quizzes. This one's going to be worth 30% as well. Each quiz is going to be the same. And then I'm going to save and close. So now if we have a look down here, we have 40, 30, 30. So these are high level categories that we've created. You might notice that the colors are a little bit different. They've got like a bluish tinge to them, whereas these ones have white tinges, which tells us that these are categories as opposed to items. Now we have a warning that says, hey, it all adds up to 130, not 100%. That's because our items are not nested in our categories. So if we wanted to nest an item in our category, we click on the chevron for an item. We go edit. We scroll down to the category drop-down menu. We click on category, and this is assignments, and then add it to the assignments. And save and close. Snap. And look, it's now nested under assignments. See how it's like got an indent on it? That means it's a child of the assignments. See how it says 100 over here? Like, so basically it's contributing 100% to this 40%. If we added another assignment, this would change to 50%. If we added a third one, it would change to 33 and so on. Okay, now let's add our discussion to our discussions category. And then click on the chevron and then go edit. I'm scrolling down to the category option. And I'm then going to assign it to discussions. But notice that the weight here is grayed out. We can't change it because it's distributing things based on the number of items that are in that category. Then I'll hit save and close. Bang. So now our discussions are under discussions as well. Our final one is going to be our quiz. So again, to add it to our category, I click on the chevron, I go edit, scroll down to our category drop-down, click on a category drop-down, I select the appropriate category, and then I hit save and close. Look, some magical things are happening. So now our weight adds up to 100. Even though our quiz is only worth 1 point, that 1 point contributes to 30% of that grade. So that's pretty good. If we want to change how many points this is worth, potentially we can click on the chevron, we can go edit, and we can make it look like it's worth 100 by just typing in 100 there as well, if we want to do that. So now it looks like it's 100 as well, if you choose to do that. That's it. That's how we organize the gradebook in Brightspace. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. See ya.